In Synkronizer there are several options how to compare a worksheet. In this tutorial I would like to show you how to use these options in order to achieve the best results. As a reminder, Synkronizer is located in the Add-ins tab, and then just click on the Synkronizer icon to get it started. As the first step, open the workbooks you would like to compare. Now we are ready to start our comparison. For this tutorial I've prepared 4 different types of worksheets, and to get a good result, each of them requires a different type of setting. Let's start with a simple worksheet. By default, Synkronizer compares everything as a worksheet. The basic options are either as a worksheet or as a database. For the first, it's a worksheet, so we compare it as a worksheet. If you like to compare only a range instead of the entire worksheet, click on Ranges, then on this icon, and drag your cursor over the area you would like to compare. Click OK, and repeat this step for the second worksheet. Drag it over and click OK. It shows you here the range you have selected, and if they are identical, we are good to go. Let's have a look at the second worksheet, which is a database with keys. Now, what is the difference between a simple worksheet and a database? A database has a structure that has a header, and in the rows are the records, and each cell of these records fit to the same structure, or basically to the same header. Usually a database has a key or a primary key, which is in this case the customer ID. The customer ID identifies one specific record. So in this example, we have a database. Since we have a header, we have a clearly structured records, and we have an ID or a primary key that identifies the records. So this worksheet we can compare not as a simple worksheet, but as a database. To compare it as a database, the first step is to select which one is our primary key, which is in this case the customer ID. Select it and click on the plus. Now it's defined that the primary key is the customer ID. Second, we need to check on which row is the header located. Synkronizer has found it on row number 1, which is correct. The header is on row number 1. Furthermore, you can select whether to use relaxed keys, sort the records, group the records, or add the sync ID column. Also here in the database setting you have the option to select only a range or the entire database for comparison. As soon as you have selected a worksheet as a database, it shows you up here the database icon. Let's have a look at our next file, which is a database without keys. Also here we have a very clear structure, meaning every record is in the same structure: customer name, city, country, contact name. What makes this database different is that it has no customer ID. That means the primary key is not yet clear. Same step as before, we compare it as a database, and now we need to decide what can serve as a primary key. In our example, we choose a combination of the customer name, hit the plus, plus the city name, plus. So these two fields serve as our primary key, meaning they identify a record. The header row is identified by Synkronizer being on row number 3, and that's correct. The header row is on row number 3. And finally, we look at the large worksheet. It consists of several thousand rows. To speed up this comparison process, we can choose select it as a worksheet, and we can link columns and rows on a one-to-one basis. This will make the process faster, but the requirement is both worksheets, they need to be identical in terms of their structure. That means there should be no inserted column and no inserted row. If we know that this is the case, we can select link columns one-to-one, meaning no inserted columns, and we can select link rows, means no inserted rows. If we choose this comparison option, it makes the whole comparison process a lot faster, since the worksheet is very big. The icon here is a link mark, which shows you that now this worksheet is compared on a one-to-one basis. And with this setting, we are ready to start our comparison process by simply clicking on the Start icon. Thank you for watching.